Hello guys, I'm Shantanu and these are the current affair reviews from the Hindu and the PIB. First of all, before going into the main thing, I just want to say happy Teachers Day to all of my teachers because at least I'm grateful to them because I can read all the good things that is happening all around. Okay, let's move on to the news. China and United States are investing in Nepal. And with this, Nepal centric competition is growing. So, what are the things happening with Nepal? Nepal has concluded one of the biggest infrastructure deals with China. It is a cement venture and it is actually giving a signal to the private sector, both external and the internal, that Nepal has a very good business climate. Nepal has also agreed to support the One Belt One Road initiative of China. On the other hand, United States is also joining the competition and they have announced a grant of rupees 500 million US dollar for Nepal to work on its development goals, especially on the field of poverty and economic development. They are going to build an electricity transmission network and to construct a 300-kilometer roads. Now, if we want to check about India-Nepal relation, the current joint military exercise is going to be concluded on September 16. India has also sanctioned two lines of credit of 100 million US dollar and 250 million US dollar for the development of a road and power infrastructure in Nepal. So, what we have found that there is a Nepal centric competition growing, and this is important in geopolitics right now. Let's move on to the next news. BRICS has named Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba as terror groups. It condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations wherever committed. It stressed that there can be no justification whatsoever for any act of terrorism. Terrorism is a scourge that has to be addressed collectively by the entire international community. There cannot be any one individual. It should be an international community to counter the terrorism. India is planning to hold a global conference on countering radicalization, which is a big source of terrorism. Moving on to the next news, this is also coming out of the BRICS. India has voiced for a BRICS credit rating agency, especially to counter the Western rating institutions. The objective of this particular move is to cater to the financial needs of the sovereign and the corporate entities of the developing nations such as India. Central banks must further strengthen their capabilities and promote cooperation between the contingent reserve arrangement and the International Monetary Fund. Currently, the Western agencies are holding 90% of the sovereign rating market, and credit rating agencies are holding a very important part when it comes to giving credit. Now, the developing nations needs investment as well as lines of credit. So, there lies the importance of credit rating agency. And rightfully, India has asked for a BRICS credit rating agency. Moving on to the next news, BRICS dialogue for today. In 2015, India has asked for United Nations 2030 agenda, which was adopted in 2015 and which contains 17 sustainable development goals. India wants a collaborative action to achieve the goals. In this regard, we need to remember that in July this year, India has completed its first voluntary national review of the Sustainable Development Goals. That means how much India has done and how much India should do to meet the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, this is the bedrock of India's development agenda and it is known as Sabka Saath Sabka Bikash, which is also known as Antodaya Yojana, that is, no one should be left behind. And in doing such, India needs to do certain things. First of all, mapping of all sustainable development goals into India's own development schemes, both at the state level and at the federal level. There should be parliamentary debates on the SDGs, and programs are geared to accomplish their tasks within a time bound manner. So India is doing good thing regarding these SDGs, and India asks everyone to have a collaborative action regarding this. For example, Mr. Modi has given the example of direct benefit transfer, which will ensure this Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. This DBT provides bank accounts for all, especially for those who were unbanked earlier. It is giving biometric identity to all, and it is giving innovative mobile governance to the unbanked part of the India or the remote part of the India. So this is very important that SDGs need to be met, and it need to be met in a collaborative way. That is what India asking from the BRICS counterparts. Now, in other news, Health Ministry has launched two new contraceptives. One of them is known as Antara, which is injectable, and the other one is known as Chaya. This is to expand the choice of contraceptives for the couples who want to have a better family planning. Now, regarding Antara, it is injectable, it is safe, it is effective for 3 months, and Chaya, it is effective for 1 week. So, this is very important. This is for long term Antara, and this is Chaya for the short term, and they are freely available in the hospitals. This is to help the women to plan their pregnancies. There is also a software known as Family Planning Logistics Management Information System. This software provides the robust information on the demand and distribution of the contraceptives to the health facilities and ashas. There is a mission known as Mission Paribar Vikas. This is a central family planning initiative. This is to improve the access to the contraceptive through delivering the assured services. This is to ensure the commodity security, and this is to give the access to high quality family planning services to the Indian people. This is implemented especially in the high focus areas which have very high total fertility rates in the country. Now there are certain states to have higher TFR than the rest. Those are Chhattisgarh, UP, Bihar, MP, Rajasthan, Jharkhand and Assam. So if we draw roughly India, so this part contains the states with higher TFR. So in human geography part, we are going to cover this particular aspect. So for now, we just keep these things in mind, that Chhattisgarh, UP, Bihar, MP, Rajasthan, Jharkhand and Assam, they are having very high total fertility rates, and they contains 40% of the total of India's population currently. The main objective of the Mission Parivar Vikas is to bring the total fertility rate to 2.1 by 2025. It is going to be done by increasing the awareness and demand through a holistic communications campaigns that has simultaneously been rolled out across all the states. So this news is very important regarding the family planning, regarding the population control. What are the different initiatives the Health Ministry and the Family Planning Ministry is taking currently? There is an important thing, the Code on the Wages Bill 2017. Just yesterday we have talked about this. 38 labor laws are going to be accumulated in 4 labor codes. These 4 codes are codes on wages, codes on the industrial relations, code on the social security, and code on the occupational safety, health and working conditions. Now this code on wage, which is currently our focus, it subsumes 4 existing laws. First of all, the Minimum Wages Act of 1948, the Payment of the Wages Act in 1936, the Payment of the Bonus Act in 1965, and the Equal Remuneration Act in 1976. After this enactment of this code on wages, these 4 laws will get repealed and only this code will stay. Now at present, Minimum Wages Act and Payment of the Wages Act do not cover substantial number of workers because they are mainly restricted to some scheduled employments or establishments. So these are not into consideration rightly. Both the new code of wages, they ensure the minimum wage to everybody and timely payment of those wage to all employees irrespective of the sector of employment and without any wage ceiling. The concept of a statutory national minimum wage for different geographical areas has also been introduced. In this case, no state government can fix a minimum wage below that has been guided for that particular geographical area. Payment of wages through check or digital mode is obviously going to be the main area, because it will also means give encouragement to the digitalization of economy. There is a provision of appellate authority that has been made between the claim authority and the judicial forum for speedy, for cheaper, and for efficient redressal of the grievances regarding these wage payment issues. Now there is a rumor going on that central government has fixed a minimum national wage of rupees 18,000 per month, but it is false, because the minimum wage will vary from place to place upon the skills required and the nature of the work assigned and the geographical location. So there are four things to be remembered. First, which sector you are working in, what is the nature of your work, which geographical area are you working in, and what are the skills are you possessing for that particular work. So these four will be important issues while there is the declaration of the minimum fixed national income, or the wage. Sorry, this is not income, this is wage. Next, moving on to the next news. Department of Financial Services directs the banks to take immediate steps regarding the companies which are struck off as per the registrar. Now the existing directors, once the company becomes struck off, will become ex-director, and therefore they will not be able to operate bank accounts anymore. And on the other hand, if the company gets through the proper proceedings and by an order of the National Company Law Tribunal, the struck off company can again become active. Now list of such companies are available in the website of the Ministry of the Corporate Affairs. On a sideline, the ministry has also asked that even if a company is found to be active, the banks need to be very much diligence regarding this, because they have to keep in mind that there are still plenty of issues like filing of the financial statements, filing of the returns, the asset charges which are to be charged on the security on loans, and the statutory obligations. Once the banks ensures this all things are in place, they can have financial relation with the company. Now Niti Aayog is going for the national nutrition strategy. However, there is a decline in overall level of undernutrition among the women and children, but it is not very satisfactory. India pays an income penalty of 9% to 10% due to the workforce that was stunted during their childhood. New nutrition strategy envisages a framework where we are getting to have four determinants of nutrition. First, the uptake of health services. Second, the food. Third, the drinking water and sanitation. And fourth, the income and the livelihoods. Now, lack of real-time measurement of these determinants is a big problem. Now, this reduces our capacity for the targeted action among the most vulnerable mothers and children. Now, there has always been a supply side challenge, and these often overshadow the need to address the behavioral change efforts to generate the demand for the nutritious services. Now, this is important because in two ways you can reach to your goal. One is that you have to meet the supply side challenges, that you have to supply nutritious products to the people. On the other hand, you need to address the behavioral changes of the people also. So both are to be important. Prominence to demand and community mobilization as key determinant to address the India's nutritional needs. In this regard, there is a call for Kuposhan Mukt Bharat, which gives Swachh Bharat as well as Swasth Bharat. Now, this is going to be implemented in state level and also among the district levels in the form of district action plans for the local challenges. Now, it is promoting decentralized planning as well as local innovation to meet the local problems. So these are the today's important news. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye.